Now let's talk about some of the fun stories and happenings that happened at Cosplaycon. First and foremost, I actually have something to show you. It's kind of a souvenir, I guess. But at Cosplaycon, there was this guy cosplaying as John Lennon, and he gave me a flower. I freaked. It was awesome. Um, just enough said. I can't even really think of anything else to say about it. I was stoked. It was awesome. I mean, it's this like little fake flower, but I don't even care. John Lennon gave me a flower. I can't. I'm done. Okay. But that little story isn't even the tip of the iceberg of some of the awesome happenings that happened at CosplayCon. Granted, I spent most of the weekend playing Cards Against Humanity with random cosplayers I found at the con, which was so fun and so funny. If you have not played Cards Against Humanity, I definitely recommend it, um, because it is seriously the funnest game anyone can play. Um, it's kind of basically like apples to apples, but really offensive and dirty. That's the best way I can describe it. Um, it's hilarious and it's fun, and I played a lot of it over the weekend at CosplayCon. It was great. There was actually a Cards Against Humanity panel where like a whole crap ton of people got together in a room and played one giant game of Cards Against Humanity. It was hilarious. Um, I would tell you some funny stories from the Cards Against Humanity stuff, but it's like 18 plus, so I don't want to get like flagged here on YouTube. But if you guys want to hear stories from Cards Against Humanity, just drop me a message on Facebook. Link will be in the description. I can tell you all about it because I love telling these stories because they're so darn funny. Um, let's see, what else magical happened over my weekend at CosplayCon? Oh, I met some really cool people, including a really nice girl named Autumn and her friends, and we just had a really great time together and messed around and did some dancing and just had a good time. It was really fun. But I think the highlight of my weekend, and probably the highlight of my year, maybe even the highlight of my lifetime, was something that happened on Saturday. Now, in the dealer's room, there was a booth that this guy had set up where he showed off some of his scale mail fashion. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically chain mail with like pieces that are shaped like little dragon scales. And he made them all himself, so just imagining the kind of time and effort and skill and creativity went into that is insane. So, obviously from everything that went into making that stuff, you can probably guess that everything at the booth was pretty freaking pricey, and I had already spent a lot of my money, and so I was really disappointed that I didn't get to buy any of that stuff. For some reason, I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Seriously, I first ran into his booth on Friday, and I just kept kind of wandering back to it every now and then, like throughout the course of the days that I was at CosplayCon. Like, seriously, in any time that we ended up going to the dealer's room, I ended up at that booth because I just liked looking at the stuff and like feeling it. It feels cool because of like the cold metal pieces and scale formation. It's really neat. And finally, I was just like, can I try something on? And he was like, yeah. And so I tried on one of his scale mail. He calls them scale mail bikinis, but I don't really consider them bikinis. They don't look like bikinis to me. I mean, the tops are kind of like, I suppose the tops kind of sort of look like bikini tops, but the bottoms don't look like bikini bottoms at all. They're like little like skirt type things. Some of them kind of look more like belts because they're like shorter, and I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that's basically what he makes. And I tried one on like just over my clothes, and I didn't like it because putting it on over my clothes made it look funny. It didn't fit me right. It was, ugh, it didn't look good. So I was like, oh, this does not look as epic as I thought it would. But then, this guy who is his makeup artist, I believe, comes up to him at the booth when I was trying it on, and he starts talking to him about a few things, and then he turns to me and he's like, "Is she one of the?" And then kind of like trails off, and I'm like, "What?" You know, and and then the guy's like, "What are you doing at 4 o'clock?" And I was like, "I don't know, nothing." And he was like, "Do you want to model for me in my fashion show?" And I was like, "What?" You know, I was like, "Holy crap, are you for real? You want me, a random nerd covered in zits, to model for you?" I was flabbergasted. My jaw probably hit the floor. I was shocked. And so, of course I said, heck yeah, duh. Um, and so he was like, okay, let me take the suit off of you, and you come back in about an hour, and we'll put it on you and get you ready for the show. And I was like, okay. And so me and Brandy, my friend who took me to the con, props and thanks to her for giving me my weekend pass. That was so cool. But anyway, we kind of left and we wandered around for a little bit, came back in an hour, and he got me all like dressed up, and I was kind of like, well, what am I gonna wear underneath it? Because I obviously didn't want to wear my like actual like clothes, like my tank top and shorts underneath it, because it did not look right. And then again, the underwear that I was wearing that day was like blue and flowery, like floral patterned. Yeah, it wouldn't have looked right under it either. And so I was like, uh, and I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to lose my bra too, because I didn't need my bra for modesty, but it just made me feel more comfortable to have it on, you know? And so I was like, I might lose my bra, but I'm not sure yet. And so he came up with this ingenious idea of where he would add a layer of leather fabric under each like scale mail piece, like the skirt and the shirt. And he would like wrap it around and make it all look like it was like, make it look like it was a one piece. Like not the whole thing a one piece, but I mean like the leather and the scale mail was together like one piece on the top and the bottom, and it ended up looking really cool. I looked like some sort of like barbarian warrior woman. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It was amazing. And once I had it on properly and he like tightened it to where it fit me right and I didn't have my weird clothes underneath and I just had the scale mail and the leather, it was magical. Like as soon as I was all done up and finished and ready, I probably felt more beautiful than I have ever felt in my life. Yeah. It was just the most amazing feeling. I've always been kind of insecure, particularly about my looks. Um, and there have been a few articles of clothing in my past that have made me feel more beautiful than I have ever felt before. My senior prom dress included. I love the way I look in my senior prom dress, and it just makes me feel like a princess. I love it. Um, this really cute vintage swimsuit that I bought makes me look really nice, and I really like the way I look in it, and it makes me feel really beautiful. But this, this suit thing was the just piece de resistance when it comes to clothing that makes me feel beautiful. When I put it on, I felt like some kind of warrior goddess. I was like, that's me? Really? It made me feel so good about myself, which is something that hardly ever happens. And it made me so happy to wear it. So the fashion show was really fun. I feel kind of discouraged about how I did on stage because it was my first one. I was a little like a little nervous, and I ended up not really doing very much on stage. I didn't even really like turn around so that they could see the whole outfit because I was just kind of jittery, um, and I didn't spend enough time on stage. I just don't think I did a lot on stage. I could have done a lot more. I could have done a lot better. Um, like as soon as I stepped off the stage, I was like, oh, I wish I could go back in time and do that whole thing over again because I think I can do better. But you know, everybody was really encouraging and everything. One thing that I really liked about it was when I was on my way back to the dressing room to go meet with the other girls that was going to be his models too. I I don't mean to be like mean or anything, but I was really expecting them to be kind of like snooty and kind of, you know, self-centered, I guess, and mean. But I was completely and utterly wrong. Completely and utterly wrong. The girls were really nice and really helpful. Like they made sure I had a prop. They asked me about whether I think one of them asked me if my scale mail was comfortable, you know, which it was, surprisingly. Like you would think something like that would be all heavy and uncomfortable, but it was actually pretty freaking comfortable. Um, some of the girls told me that if you don't wear a bra underneath it, that can get a little uncomfortable. But since I was wearing a bra, I didn't feel any of that uncomfort. Um, you know, they asked me about my shoes because I didn't wear any shoes to the fashion show. I was barefoot in it because the only shoes that I had with me at the time were a pair of like sparkly, strappy high heels, and those would not work for the whole like barbarian warrior woman thing. So Lyle, who's the guy who owned the booth and everything and was heading the fashion show, told me that he would rather have me barefoot than in those shoes. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. So I walked the runway barefoot, and the girls, you know, they asked me about that, like, do you have any shoes, kind of thing. And then I explained it to them. And they were like, oh, okay, I get it. So you're like, you know, all like warrior, barbarian kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And they were nice about it too, and they came up with some really cool ideas and everything, and um, they made sure that I knew like the whole like walkthrough, like what we would be doing on stage, like the blocking and everything, and they were just really nice and really helpful. And the fashion show I think was a huge success, despite my um, what do you call it? Inexperience, I guess, with the runway. Despite that, I think it went really well. Um, and it was really fun, and I had a good time. And the really awesome thing is that I actually got in touch with Lyle on Facebook, and he invited me to take part in his photo shoot in the fall. And so this wasn't just like a one-time, like shocker kind of opportunity. These opportunities are continuing, and he says like, whenever you hear about Cosplaycon for next year, you let me know so that you know you can walk the runway again. And I was like, heck yeah, because it was fun, and I would love to do it over again, like I said, so I could do better than the first time. And and it was just great and amazing. I can't wait until the fall so I get to go to his photo shoot. It's in Lake of the Ozarks, so I have to make sure I have a ride. But if I do, I'm definitely going to be attending. Um, one last thing about Lyle's work, I am determined to buy one of the suits. I'm determined. I don't. I don't really know how exactly I'm going to start saving up money yet because I don't have a job yet, but somehow I'm going to start saving up money. Lyle said that the like bikinis run somewhere around $300. He has like other things that are bigger and longer, like he has a mermaid scale mail suit, which is really cool, but that would most likely be a lot more expensive. But um, he said that the little bikini things come around to about $300 each. And I was like, $300? I can probably do $300 if I start saving now. And so yeah, I'm determined to save up enough money to buy one of Lyle's suits because, like I said, being in that thing made me feel more beautiful than anything. Now, you're probably questioning why I would spend $300 on something that I would never be able to wear. I would like to challenge you by saying that I can think of plenty of opportunities for me to wear that thing. Halloween, conventions, costume parties, medieval events, like medieval whatevers, like fairs and junk. I can think of lots of reasons why I can wear a scale mail suit, so yeah. Once I save up enough money and I get one, I'm going to use every excuse possible to wear it whenever I can because it is cool and it makes me feel beautiful, so Um, really, I think those are the only really big stories that I have from Cosplaycon, but the whole entire weekend was just loads of fun. We went to some events, like some panels and stuff. We went to a Doctor Who panel, which was lots of fun to meet other Whovians and such, and all kinds of things. We went to the rave party for about an hour, hour and a half. Um, but all the strobe lighting and the booming music, it gives you a headache, so we didn't stay very long. We were like, this is really fun, but it's killing my brain cells, so we're gonna bounce, okay? And yes, I did just use the word bounce. I'm so cool. So, I had a really great time at CosplayCon. Um, Thank you for buying my pass, Brandy. I hope you had just as much fun as I did. Um, the whole fashion show and everything was so much fun, and I can't wait for the photo shoot. Um, Thank you, Lyle, for letting me be a part of that and inviting me to be a part of the photo shoot and future fashion shows and everything. Just, it was great. I'm happy I got to be a part of CosplayCon 2014. Um, the next video that I will be uploading is probably going to be an update video where I talk about all of the things you can expect to see on the channel, because it is almost my birthday and almost my YouTube anniversary, so lots of big things will be coming up, and I will talk about them in my next update video, which should be up sometime soon. So I will see you guys then. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye!